Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Christy with McKinley Coaching, and it's been a while since I've um, made a video or a blog post. There's actually been like two times before today that I'd actually recorded something, and for one reason or another, just uploading it seemed to be impossible. So I just took it as a sign that I should not be uploading those videos and I let them go. Trouble is, it was few and far between, life happened, blah, blah, blah. So here I am. Hopefully this will all go well and I'll be able to upload it. So this past month has been really interesting. Now that I've come through the other side of it, um, it's a much happier outlook than when I first began this month. It was a lot of healing and introspection, and two major things that kind of occurred that kind of built up this momentum to where I am right now. There is this memory that kept coming up from being in the third grade, and there was this girl, and same Colleen. Her name is Colleen, and she was like really just she was a popular girl. She was kind of she acted out. She didn't get into trouble, but sometimes she got fussed at by the teachers and things like that. I mean, she wasn't a holy terror, but she was funny. And so she's a popular girl, and I dare not try and act like her because I would probably at risk of getting in trouble. But I felt really compelled to dress like her. So one day I decided to do that. Now, Colleen, she would wear nylon pantyhose underneath her denim pants, and wearing socks and high top shoes, t-shirts, that sort of thing. And so I did that one day, and apparently I did that on the same day. It was like the hottest day on record because it felt like I was on fire. So that only took one day to realize that that was not a good idea. But I'm pretty sure that the lesson from that was that what is good and works well for one person may not be good and may not work well for someone else. And it's really funny because I've heard that hundreds of thousands of times from my teachers and my mentors and just people and just other people that I don't know, and the lessons you see in TV, movies, and shows and and it's really kind of funny that now 30 years later that it would click in my brain that but in that it has helped me kind of redefine who I am as a person, and most especially as a coach, and as a Reiki practitioner. So yeah, that's been a neat unfolding. The second thing is that in one of the Facebook groups, a friend of mine posted about being a linchpin where she works. A linchpin is the pin that kind of holds a wheel together. And if in human terms, it's someone who's incredibly important or vital in an enterprise or corporation business. So she was making the comment about being a linchpin and things like that. And I was, as I was typing out the comment about how I kind of felt the same way, but for me, I think I had used the term holding a space, which I think is basically the same thing. It's a little bit lighter a term, but it's basically the same thing. And I realized in leaving the comment that I'd been holding a space for every job that I'd ever worked, like probably since I was like 16 years old. Just because, one, it was good because I did feel committed to doing a really good job and just being there and just being really just 150%. But I did notice those patterns as I became disillusioned with things, how I would like just not be there fully after a while, how I would just do little things like, show up late or just, do different things like that. How it just wasn't, I just felt just kind of off about things and couldn't really, and for a long time blamed my job and my coworkers and my employers or bosses and whatever, when I should have just realized, hey, this is me just not being happy with where I am. And that goes into like root chakra stuff with the guilt and all that stuff. So I've incidentally been doing an incredible amount of root and sacral healing this month, and that's been showing up in my coaching too. So that's just a really huge thing with people, and that's just given me reason to kind of think about the focus of my coaching um, in the near future. So that was just, yeah. And then another part of that was in holding a space. It's one thing to hold a space for someone who knows that you are, like when you're doing coaching work, or when you're doing, offering someone Reiki or healing or anything like that. It's another thing when you're holding space for someone that either does not realize that you're doing that, or worse, realize that they're doing that and they're taking it for granted, or they just don't care, which is really just sad and unfortunate. But it still comes back to being the source of the responsibility of holding a space. It's really simple. You can choose to continue to do that, knowing what it's doing to you physically, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. Um, or you can say, there needs to be a change. So that's kind of what this month is about. It's just healing and changing and being okay with the choices that I'm making, feeling good about the choices that I'm making, feeling okay about stuff not being sure at the moment while still staying present, which for me, for an incredibly long time, was really something that in the beginning started out to be incredibly insufferable. The fact of not knowing just anything in particular, specifics. I mean, and now I I'm across the board doing much better about that. I notice that when I give myself the rest that I need and just the space to kind of decompress and to take breaks, how much easier that is for me. So this month has been one of awareness and incredible gratitude as I heal and reach equilibrium as I come out of my woodshedding. Um, just to give myself that time just to exhale. So I'm really excited. My mental health initiative is kind of gaining momentum, and so that is going to start to take shape here in the next couple of months. There's some awesome things unfolding early next month that I will probably share with you in about 2 to 3 weeks. So I look forward to talking with you about that. But in the meantime, stay wonderful. All the best to you, and namaste.